Hey friends, hey family, hey loved ones. Hi, how you doing today? I have a little friend in my lap today. I'm watching my daughter's dog while she's on vacation, and so we'll see if he pops up to play and say hello, and we'll see how easy this gets to be, or how easy it's not. But anyways, hi, happy Monday, and July 25th, 2022. I just finished my journal today that I started on June 25th and got to fill that up today. This beautiful journal that Scott bought me a couple months ago when I asked for some new journals and switched it up a little bit from the huge sketchbooks that I've been using and just have this little cute little journal, and so I'm going to start another one today, but I figured it'd be a good day to review since it's been a month now. And so, there's just so many things, always, everything that relates to everything else. And so, I followed some threads of curiosity and branching off from the last few themes that I've been working with and playing with, such as forgiveness and making peace with the persecutor and the persecuted. Having those themes come up a lot for me in the last 2 years, and then I'll work on them for a little bit, I'll let them rest, and then they emerge again or re-emerge for me. And, it's kind of like a test. So I get to test my new strength and my new faith and what I've learned to see what I have been able to integrate. And so I feel like there has been some huge changes and some huge shifts. Something huge has been moved and been transformed and turned around for me. I feel so much lighter this week and today. I was feeling, pretty weighed down with so many weights, letting go of all that's no longer mine and no longer serves me to carry. And a lot of those are old beliefs, old ways of seeing, old perceptions, old hurts from the past that were, painful memories that were kind of fogging up my lenses and creating more pain for me in certain ways. So I just got to face certain things I had been avoiding and not wanting to confront. And I just got to be with them and allow them to be moved and to move through me. And there's some images that I've been getting from some old dreams. Some old dreams came back to me to help remind me of certain messages and certain symbols and their meanings. And so one of those things was a frozen pond that had like a bicycle stuck in the pond, but yet like the pond was circulating as it was frozen. And so what it was showing me was this stagnant, frozen energy of cycling around. It was cycling around. And I was like very confused by this because it was like, how is it frozen yet it's cycling around? And this was in 2020, I believe, when I had this dream. But it was showing me past, present, future. And I thought it was interesting. There was a lot of different puns in this dream as well, and so it was like just kind of fun to look at how clever sometimes like some of these things are, and it's just like a fun little mystery and a puzzle, like to kind of piece together in certain ways, or just observe and let it be like shown and let it be revealed to me. And so my soul, always there's a knower, there's an inner knower in my soul, that knows. And then sometimes it takes a minute for my ego to catch up and be able to interpret or receive the message or allow myself to receive it. when I let go of my own agendas and my own expectations and the fears that I've had and the resentments that I've held on to and all those things. But yeah, just letting go, and remembering it's okay not to know. And that is where love is able to flow. And then the part of me that does know, yeah, can help lead me and guide me to where I get to go. And so, yeah, I picked up my dream journal today, and I had been nudged a couple days ago. Yeah, look at your dreams, and yeah, because I've been having like really weird dreams lately as well. And then a lot of the times, it's been kind of, I don't know, just my routine that I've been in lately. Just feels really busy, and so I haven't quite been able to choose to make the time to focus on like recording my dreams and recalling them. But I did send myself a quick mental note saying, yes, I'm willing to like start to recall those and record those and receive the messages that they have for me. And so that's what I have been working with the last couple days, and I have remembered a few little fragments of certain dreams, and they've been super interesting. And I may share some of those that I've had in the last couple days or couple weeks. But going back to this journal that I started in 2019, I had some interesting dreams from the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, and then beyond. But then I started to write my dreams like in my actual like monthly journals, and so now I'll need to go back and sift through like some things to be able to find like other dreams. So I'm gonna go back to this dream journal so they can just be in one place, and I can not hurry, but they'll be right there for me to reference them and all that. And I was super surprised today by reviewing some of these dreams, like just flipping it open, and the ones that I was drawn to, wow, they were huge. They were just amazing. Amazing gifts and messages with a lot of healing potency within them. And now, in hindsight, I can see clearly, yeah, all of these themes that I've been working through the last 2 years. And it's just, and feeling like kind of a sense of completion in certain areas, on certain levels, and initiations into new, deeper levels. So, been getting that. It's like this deepening connection to our soul, and the deepening that's going to be happening in different relationships, and a deepening within ourselves. So that's super awesome and fun. So at the beginning of this month, yeah, there was magical, just beautiful, just heart-opening feelings. And my husband and I, we were talking about different things, and we'd gotten back from our vacation the 2nd of July, and decompressing kind of like the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th from our 2-week adventure. And I was getting some super interesting insights during that window, during the 4th and the 5th, and having some interesting dreams and synchronicities, and in a lot of ways. And my husband and I were talking about like how it felt like Christmas in July, and that's not the first time I've felt that feeling. I always wondered about that saying, Christmas in July, like where does that come from? But now I feel like I have a deeper understanding of that, and of why like it does feel like that in July. And it is because of the light in a lot of ways, and it's because of some of the astrological alignments, and those dances in the heavens that do relate to certain star systems, and that feeling of Christmas and joy, a lot of that. And yeah, a couple days later after we had talked about, yeah, it feels like Christmas in July because it's so dead, because all these things, all these gifts are unfolding, all these miracles, all these blessings, and just like more light is able to come in and be held, because we're able, yeah, we've made the room so that we can, expand and open to holding more of that light, that we are. And so I had gotten a book back from my stepdaughter. I wanted her to look at it because of some kind of conversation that we had. And she's had it for the last year and a half or so, at least. And she just returned it to me a couple weeks ago. And it's Masaru Emoto, Love Thyself. And he's done like a lot of experiments with like water crystals and things, like with different frequencies and vibrations and words and prayers and blessings and different symbols. And the water takes on like a shape, or it forms itself, like there's a crystal that forms in the water that in response like to these frequencies, to these prayers, to these words, to these messages, and to these intentions. And it's like super beautiful. If you haven't been familiar or looked at any of his work, I super suggest that you like look into what this beautiful man found, like looking at the water, and how intelligent, the intelligence that the water holds, and how water is such an amazing element, really, that does hold memory and information. And so, super awesome. But yeah, it's called Love Thyself. To love yourself is to love and thank all of existence. The message from the water, 3. And so I flipped it open after getting this book back, and the Happy Christmas in Italian was the page that I got, and the page before that is Happy Christmas in English, and the entry before that one is Amaterasu. I'm probably totally not pronouncing that right, but it's the sun goddess, the Japanese sun goddess. It's spelled Amaterasu. And so, really, really cool synchronicities and entries that I was happy to receive. And Happy Christmas in English, the English greeting Happy Christmas possesses a noble beauty like that of an English gentleman. It has a feeling of seeking happiness within beauty. So I absolutely love that. That feels like Christmas. It has a feeling of seeking happiness within beauty. Happiness is an inside job. Happiness is found within the self, within the beautiful, light and beautiful love and beautiful presence that we are. Happy Christmas in Italian. It varies depending on the language, doesn't it? Feliz Natal. This crystal looks like the very definition of merrymaking and holiday cheer. Doesn't that sound Italian? And so, yeah, it is like beautiful crystals. So this is the Happy Christmas crystal in English. And this was the Amaterasu, the sun goddess. One picture as, and what was it? Actually, goddess of the sun, and this deity was once regarded as the central figure in the Japanese pantheon. The name appears in the chronicles of classical Japan, and according to the record of ancient matters, it was revealed when Injinago Makoto washed his left eye in a purification ceremony. So it has to do with seeing, and the mirror of God, seeing clearly. I was most surprised when I saw this crystal. First of all, many people my age are worried that conducting an experiment such as this is akin to blasphemy. But after viewing the results, I came to a sense of confidence and awe. The second photograph shows that the crystal expanded as the temperature rose. It really looks just like the sacred mirror, one of the 3 sacred treasures of Shinto. And so it almost looks like an eye with an iris in it as well. Yeah, the second image. And so it showed how the crystal expanded as the temperature rose. And so I thought that was, super awesome. And I don't know why this one looks golden. And so to look into that a little bit more. So I'm grateful for that, for those little synchronicities and just like little fun things for me to receive for me. And so June 10th for my old journal is what I flipped open right before I came downstairs to record. As above, so below. The light of the heavens reflects the light of the earth. Earth, fire, water, air, mother, father, child. The cauldron and the spear. New beginnings, endings, death and rebirth. Surrender, trust, faith, strength, transformation and grace. Receptive, allowing hospitality. Alchemy. Clearing the way for new growth and expansive possibilities to be realized through you, through life's love for all of you. Relax into love and be free. Love always. Loving life, loving you, loving all, loving true. Loving me, loving you, loving we, loving two. Loving free, all for you. Shedding old skin, old clothes, old beliefs, tribal stories and identities. Old chains, blocks and expectations, cages, boxes, labels and descriptions. Implanted programs and lenses. Unconscious survival strategies and projections. Learned patterns. Inherited coping and defense mechanisms, distortions of the pain body, senses. And distortion of the pain body and supernatural senses. Let go of how it's supposed to be, of how it should be or it needs to look or seem to be. Let go of being right and doing it right, or doing it one right way, whatever that is, anyway. That is lack mentality, rigid and restrictive, disallowing and limiting. Let go of unnecessary performance pressure and resistance to just being. I no longer need to compare, analyze, compete, measure, expect, predict, or attempt to control by knowing or figuring it all out. Let it go with love for my soul and my whole being, my true well-being, my whole self. Thank you, I am supported, held, loved, valued, appreciated, nurtured, safe, and cared for. I am allowed. Relax into love and be free. Step out of judgment and see. Allow love to move and be free. Free to be. Love always. Love is free. Let it be. Letting go. I free me. I trust this love will unfold in miraculous, magical, fun, playful, joyful, mysterious, spontaneous, adventurous, delightful ways. I trust this love to unfold. Love always. Empathy, humility, compassion, and boundaries. Thinking about the pain body and all the domination and manipulation and false control. Forgiving it all, letting it go with love, and choosing whole new ways. Trust, faith, and clarity. And she survived the grave they buried her in. She came out breathing, very much alive, and she didn't waste a moment before she started her healing. Then she lit up the sky with her fire and light. Love is the power through which we unfold. Live with thoughtfulness of your true nature. Nakshatra. And so, that was a little message that I needed for me today, and maybe someone else did too. Also, there's just a few things that I want to share from this latest journal I just finished up today. And I started it on June 25th, 2022, on a Saturday while we were on vacation in Oregon. And so, my first page, I'm so excited to start this journal while we're staying in Oregon for a few more days. Our transition into pure presence. Enjoying beautiful nature and exploring new ways to be. Relax and enjoy your journey. This is a perfect time of timeless time to live and embody, soul alive. To live and embody, soul alive. All is well and all is one. All is whole, alive, and well. And now it's time to integrate the light of the purified, transmuted shadow, so we all may know the truth, illuminated now, For all that I am, I can see clearly now. I trust, I surrender, I yield to uncertainty, not knowing, yet knowing the knower in me exists and abides, lives, dwells in all things. Be still and know that I am. Presence, silence, and stillness. So where is my focus? Where is the focus? Is it on lack and limitation or on potential and possibility? Is it on self-mastery or judgment and self-loathing? Is it on accountability or blame, excuses? Blame and or excuses? Action or change? And so, Monday, and here's my little friend Spooter, who's shifting in my lap. Hi, little friend. How you doing? And so, June 27th. It's Moon Day and a new moon in Cancer coming soon. I've been thinking about my sisters and generational trauma and how I'm feeling about myself. And I have compassion, for this wound, remembering that we are always worthy of love, acceptance, and belonging. Compassion and boundaries, course correction, self-deception and humility. What is my responsibility? So courage and generosity, home, friendship, and hospitality. Just some notes and some random thoughts just jotted down quickly. So reclamation, energy, and responsibility. Integration, harmonization, trust and surrender and receptivity. Presence, joy, grace, devotion, and transparency. Curiosity, openness, softness, loving kindness, discernment, observing awareness, and listening, receiving. So I've been thinking about, maybe that's some of the reason why I felt so weighed down as well, is because I was taking on things that were not mine. They were not my responsibilities. And for some reason, like I had agreed to carry certain responsibilities, or I believed I was responsible for them in a lot of different ways. And a lot of that was implanted and inherited or adopted, agreed to beliefs. And so just like letting a lot of those go, and I no longer am bound, to the responsibilities that aren't mine and never were. So it's safe to be me. I am a beloved child of love, of God, held in grace, always. Let go and be free. Relax into the vastness of the great I am presence. Relax into the greatness of the I am and the love I am right here as I am. Of the love that we are, of the love thou art, of the love life is, of the love there is. So. Thank you, humor, lightness, and ease, and remembering not to take life or my fears so damn seriously. Hi, little buddy. Here's my little friend, this little scooter dog, who has like such separation anxiety. It's been loving the company, huh? It's been fun. He's a playful little thing, and he keeps me on my toes as well. Oh, one of the things that was coming up for me, as I remember this now, a couple days ago, and what wants to be said about that right now? And so, for these last 7 years or so, I've been watching and witnessing different parts of my psyche and meeting different aspects of myself, and I'm learning to get to know myself, learning to love myself, and learning to harmonize all of these aspects within myself. And when I started going through like a certain part of my awakening, because there are many, many, many different awakenings that happen in our journey of learning, in our fool's journey of coming home to ourselves. In this like huge great awakening that got to unfold for me in 2016, I started opening myself up to a lot of things that I had shut myself down to, or shut my abilities down, because it was way, 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 way too much for me. At different points in my life, I had to protect myself, cut different parts of myself off, or hide them away, or it was like compartmentalize them, or they were all fragmented in certain ways, and now they're asking to all come back together in unity. And so it was really really hard, and really not knowing what was going on and what to do with a lot of these things that were coming up. But I knew my soul would teach me, and I had amazing spirit helpers and guides helping me, and I knew it wasn't so much that I couldn't handle it, but it did seem really intense and overwhelming and very frightening at different times. And a lot of it is mental, and just hearing different things, where is that coming from, and seeing different things or receiving different messages, and even having different dreams that show me different things, and being aware of certain thought forms that have been created that are negative thought forms and things, and actually accidentally mistaking those thought forms as a part of me, when really they're actually not. They're just packets of energy that don't even belong to me, but I was mistaking them as parts of myself, and they actually weren't. And then other parts of myself I was mistaking for something outside of myself that was a threat or an enemy, and really it was just an unrecognizable part of myself that had been so distorted, and because it had been repressed, suppressed, and rejected and cast out. And so these different parts were coming out to play, and it was just really disorienting in a lot of different ways, but learning to be in my center and just listen and watch and observe, and know that I was safe, even when I would with certain things would freak me out, because I didn't like how they felt, and I judged myself for thinking these thoughts, but really I was just picking up on them in certain ways, because I'm a receiver for consciousness, and so it was just something that my receiver was tuned to, and I was becoming aware of all the things that were in this field, and so some of it I didn't like at all, and I felt the need to protect myself from them, and so I would ask for help just to recenter myself and all these things. And a lot of them, what it had to do with, I've heard other people talk about them as intrusive thoughts, and then other people talk about them as psychic attacks, and then other people talk about them as just thought forms that are floating around in the ethers, and then if we have some kind of a wound that is a match for that frequency, then it's gonna kind of be drawn into our space, and for some kind of resolution, for some kind of integration or alchemicalization. Like I said, it's not all clear. It's not all totally clear, but it is getting there. And I'm just willing to allow myself not to know right now, and so that the part of me that knows can reveal and show what I need to see to me and through me, or so let's begin again here. Let's begin again. Let it go, begin again. And so, yeah, some of these thoughts, what they were about, they were very disturbing, and they were very traumatic for me, because they felt very violent, and it didn't feel like me. And it was just like, what do I even do with that? Or how do I even neutralize that thought? And so sometimes, like, I would get different images that were sent to me from my higher self or my guides, or my intuition just knew, my soul just knows what it is that I need. And so I had been working with frog medicine, and I had been visualizing like this yellow tree frog that is actually one of the most poisonous animals on the planet. And it was like, wow, that is good medicine to help transmute some of this poison, is to call on one of those allies that actually knows how to do that and knows how to work with it. That's part of its power. And so it wasn't even like I consciously, I said, oh, I'm gonna, yeah. It was just something my soul like offered to me, and it was like it made sense to me later. Like, oh yeah, of course, you know. And so, yeah, sometimes like visualizing different things or making something absolutely ridiculous, like, kind of reminds me of like the Bogart from Harry Potter, where Lupin was teaching the Defense Against the Dark Arts class, and the Bogart or whatever, it would like transform or appear to be like your worst fear and whatnot, and all you had to do, like, to transform it into something that wasn't threatening anymore, was just make it ridiculous. And yeah, so I started playing with some of those things. Like, I'd get like different images, or like different things that I guess I was afraid of, or like that would just come to me, um, thoughts and stuff that I probably normally would have like just immediately shoved away without even um, looking at or looking into at all. And so I stopped doing that, and stopped distracting myself, and stopped numbing myself. And yeah, so I was there to observe and be aware and witness like some of these thoughts. And then it was just like, well, what do I do with them now? It's uncomfortable. Like, this is uncomfortable. It's like my judgment about the thoughts, yeah, it was uncomfortable. And the feeling, the way I felt about it was uncomfortable. And yeah, it's just like, would attach me, like my refusal and my rejection, or my fear of these thoughts, or of having these thoughts, or of entertaining these thoughts, yeah, would attach me to them, and then they would get like extra worse, and even just like I'd be bombarded with them in certain ways. But I would just return to love, and I would just allow, and I would just release, and I have different mantras and chants that I would sing or just repeat in my mind. And yeah, they seemed to settle down after a while, because I didn't give them really a lot of my attention, or like beat myself up for like, oh, why am I thinking that? Oh no, like, it was just like, oh, that's interesting, and then just kind of let it go. But sometimes like the most disturbing things like that would come in were like this fear that I had of hurting an innocent, and like being like aware and accepting of this aspect that lives within me that is capable of like destruction, and of harm, of violence, of like just losing control, and senseless killing, and so like obviously this like freaked me out a lot. And it would also like just be terrible visions of certain things, like my worst nightmares unfolding, like, yeah, of people that I loved, or my little animals getting hurt or whatever, like super traumatic like images, or just like living nightmares like that I would see again and again and again. And yeah, so those have like not been as prominent like in the last couple few years as they were in the beginning of like my awakening, when I started to pay attention to like certain thoughts and certain feelings that I was having without having to like push them like immediately away or prevent them from coming up. And I realized some of my strategies and my mechanisms that I used to distract myself from those things as well, like some of my addictions and things were like so that I didn't have to see or feel or hear any of those things. Um, and so it was like super interesting in a way, like some of my defense and coping mechanisms to protect my psyche and my psychic space. Like I had to really, really, really shut a lot down, and so when certain things started coming back online or were allowed, like to function again, like my feeling function was allowed to be operable again. It was really hard for me to like kind of be with certain things without like feeling totally like crazy and exhausted. Like, why is this happening? Like, what is this about? Where is this coming from? A lot of the time I felt like it was coming from somewhere else. And so, like, one of the things I would say was return to original sender with compassion and consciousness attached. Or, I offer this back in the name of love for the healing of all. And this is, if this is not mine, I ask that it be returned to the sender. If this is mine, I ask that it be offered back in service to the whole. And all those kinds of things. And that would temporarily like just make it easier for me and a little lighter, and so I could just kind of let go and not have to like keep stressing about it or worrying about like figuring it out to fix it and everything. Like, I don't know if this makes any sense whatsoever at all, but maybe somebody listening, maybe somebody will resonate or they'll be able to relate with what they've gone through in their own process. And so, why I'm bringing that stuff up is because I had something happen to me a couple days ago, like, and it really, oh gosh, it felt like it was amplified to the nth degree. And for a few minutes there, I just had to close my eyes and like really, really concentrate on coming back to my center and not reacting to what felt like was being broadcasted or being sent to me. And really just feel into the peace within me to recenter myself. And then I asked for help from Archangel Michael to come help me. And then I realized as well, like, that, although, some of it was external energy that was not mine, but it was actually activating something within me, a wounded aspect of me. And so it wouldn't have been able to penetrate me, but because of this aspect that was wounded within me, this part of myself that I had rejected, it was a match for that frequency. And so that's why it felt so intense and so like personal to me. And so I kind of had like a meeting with this aspect of myself, and I can only describe her as Ereshkigal of the underworld, the goddess that was cast down into the underworld because she was rejected and there was no room for her to be here. Everything that we decided we couldn't accept about ourselves, it was all dumped into the shadow, into the shadow aspect of the goddess. And so I had a meeting with her, and I welcomed her back home, and I thanked her, and I had a conversation with her, and I told her I was so sorry that I abandoned her and that she was abandoned, and I told her that I really really needed her to come back home, and that she was safe, and that she was loved, and that she was cared for. And yeah, after that, and just after just kind of like letting some things go, like all of the things like that were like really, really um, feeling so intense for me, just all of a sudden like just like melted away, and I was like just left in this um, calm space of peace, and knew everything was well, and all was well, and all was right to be. And so the next day I woke up, and I was really, 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 really super tired, and I just like gave myself permission to just to sleep as much as I wanted to, and to do anything that I wanted to do, and took all the pressure off of me, and everything else that I thought I had to be that day, or that I thought I had to do, and was just kind of listening and seeing into different things about like why I have felt so responsible, and why I have felt so much pressure. Um, and I realized as well, like, you know what? I can let that all go now. I don't need to hold on to that any longer. Um, what I can do is just know that everything that I love, that I am willing to serve, and I am willing to honor, and I will like honor life with my love, and I'll just get to live, you know, through this love, and live in this love, and live for this love, and that is like really what life is asking me, like to be love for myself, and to love myself enough to allow myself to like be love for myself, and to live the love that I am for myself. And like I really, really do want to help, I really want to make a difference, but coming from that place of love is what actually makes the difference, and not like putting pressure on myself to be a certain way, or to be love in this form, or this sort of way, or this one right way. And so yeah, I hope that helps, and maybe like playing this back and me listening to it, it will definitely open up some more things for me, and help me like yeah clear any blockages left that I have had towards like moving into more deeper levels of my whole self. It's so yeah, I feel like yes, it's so different. It's so different today. I feel so different in every way. And so there's not that fear and anxiety that was like really taking up so much real estate. Oh my god. Yeah. It feels like it's been dissolved and cleared away. So I'm super grateful for all of that. And maybe I'll just share a couple things from my journal. Yeah. Let's see, what can we share? So wow. Organization, creating, dreaming and playing, nurturing, building, developing, refining, strengthening, tempering, integrating, harmonizing, regenerating, a new earth reality, whole heart based, envisioning, awakening, shifting, changing, repatterning, evolving, ascending, activating, purifying, initiating, re-emerging, rebirthing, returning, remembering, diamond soul consciousness, all is one is all. Transcending and transforming, transmuting the victimizer mentality, victim consciousness, and the tyrant, savior, villain, shining hero programming, navigating, trusting, breaking free, breaking open, breaking false glass ceilings. Above and below, we are the bridge and the tree. Nothing is as it first may seem to be. Look deeper and let go to see coherently. Unity consciousness, dancing the dream. as above. Oh, all love is free. Parallel structures built in integrity make the old inverted structures obsolete. Welcome in what I'm feeling drawn to and all that I love. Follow what comes and know that it is all love. So, avoidance strategies and energetic investments follow curiosity, indecision and overthinking, plan A, plan B, and plan C, exit routes and strategies, the epicure or the purella, the eternal child that doesn't want to be locked into anything. So, yeah, a lazy day to rest, and I allowed myself self-care and everything I needed for my true well-being. Showing up as the love I am, showing up as the love we are, sharing all we love, the circle, the tree, the bridge, we are all we love. Gratitude, joy, appreciation, value, claim worth, and gifts, the gift of presence, the gift of being, the gift of life, the gift of living, loving, and being alive. So we do all have access to the answers we need if we are willing to open and receive. I choose to see everyone as whole. I am willing to let go and change. I am willing to allow myself and my life to change. I am willing to change my mind. I am willing to allow change. I am willing to welcome change. I am willing. I am allowing change. So the guidance that we are seeking is found within. Unity with yourself, unity with your fellow man, unity with Creator, and unity with creation. And so today, I've been getting a lot of messages about intuition and a deeper connection with the soul. And so, glitches in the matrix and weird energy, instability, unpredictability, and things breaking down, reality collapsing and illusions shattering, the tower archetype, judgment, and the star. So the persecution, wounds, and disempowerment from the matrix is now undone in all directions of time for the highest good of all, deeper connection with the soul. Symbols, codes, numerology, ideas, vibrations, and frequencies, biofield retuning. The 1, 2, the 3, and the 0 hold keys to unity consciousness. Purification, cleansing, purging, surrendering, releasing, detoxifying, alchemizing, neutralizing, transmuting, and transforming the poison into nectar. When she is healed, he comes home from the war to heal and be whole. She is the fruit and the fruit tree. He is the gardener. Something has moved, something huge has moved and been shifted and turned around. Aspects, elements, attention, reception, observation, engagement, or non-attachment. Hold the tension of the opposites so the third can come through. Balance, union, and harmony. And so I went back to my Tree of Life Dream Journal to read a few entries, and holy God, what amazing themes and messages. My soul knew what was needed and what was unfolding for my highest good and greatest growth. My soul was showing me all the things that I was open and ready to see. It took my ego a bit of time to process, digest, and receive fully, to accept, allow, assimilate, and integrate. Intuition is inner knowing. It's all about what we make it and how we interpret the symbols, feelings, images, signs, and messages. And then this little message came in today. Intuition is the bridge between the soul and the ego's thoughts and sensations. If one can, for a sufficient length of time, remain unidentified with thoughts and sensations and without being unconscious, he will know through the development of intuition the nature of the soul. And that was from the Neighbors and from 2021. So that's like the second Telegram channel that I'm following. I've been off Facebook for oh gosh, a year and a half now, a little longer than a year and a half. It's been about a year and 8 months. But yeah, I opened up a Telegram channel a couple months ago, and just so I could do a class and like meet with a group on Telegram. And so I've just been following 2 channels like these last 6 months or 4 months or so. And yeah, one's Divine Feminine Awakening, and one is called The Neighbors, and they just like share like stuff that I love and that resonates with me, and like just encouraging encouraging that well-being. And so yeah, I'll pick up some gems and nuggets, and on certain days, and they're exactly what I need for me, and I'm happy to receive them. And so it's been interesting, yeah, um, yeah, being off social media, but it's been so good because it has helped me to clear certain lenses and see actually where I was playing into self deception, and where my blind spots were. And I needed to come back home to me and take rest within myself. And that's why I got to separate myself and just remove myself from certain situations and certain relationships, so that I could receive some more clarity and insight into what I needed to see for me. And I know, like, in a lot of ways, it was like I was so hoping and desiring to see certain loved ones in my family see certain things, but actually, I got to see what I needed to see, and I got to let go of, um, that need of having to have them see what I needed them to see. And so, July 21st, 2022, I am always arriving, I am always changing, and I am always worthy. Blue crystalline diamond heart, the threefold flame, the beloved's name, the name of God, the name of truth, the name of love, the name of one, his eternal flame. God in his infinite mercy and grace receives and renews all things. The deepening, letting go. The deepening together, letting go to receive and be one and flow. Creative, joy, passion, and play. Growth, rest, and expansion. Integration and acceptance. Gratitude, trust, faith, and play. Appreciation, love, pleasure, and spontaneity. Love is always, always. In the eye of the storm, embracing the present, all that is. Embracing the present moment and what is, right now. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Letting others go, letting go of my small self-image, letting go of the past, letting go of mistakes, miscreations, misperceptions, letting go of attachments, of preferences, and preferred idealized outcomes and stages, and forms, of energy. Letting go of identification. Letting go of identification with old, worn-out clothes, identities, names, labels, and descriptions. Letting go, letting go, letting go. Letting others have their own journey and experience. Letting others make their own choices and experience their own freedom. Letting others be free to make their own mistakes and learn from their own lessons and consequences. Allowing them their own perceptions, beliefs, and choices. Releasing the hostages, releasing the kraken, releasing the old stories, releasing the false attraction to the hungry ghost and the sex kitten, the femme fatale, and the endless search for satisfaction, the people pleaser, the martyr, the savior, the villain, and the victim. True happiness is an inside job, and it is always sourced from within. Worn out clothes and puts on new ones, shedding old skin, shedding old skin, shedding old skin. Letting go of attachments and identifications. And embracing, like, all of these allies that I have within that I was judging as wrong and wrong for me to be. And one of the things that I realized as well was, hey, it's okay to make a mess and it's okay to get dirty. And life is for living, not for staying pristine. So, being willing to be seen as the asshole and the villain and the monster, and actually having a lot of compassion for that inner monster and that inner villain, knowing that it's really a misperception and a distortion in a lot of ways, like those parts that we've rejected about ourselves and made into unrecognizable villains. And kind of seeing into why we needed to do that, and how we needed to separate ourselves from ourselves, but now it's time to unify and come together as one again. So, yeah, embracing some of the aspects of myself that I thought I never could be and would never be worthy. And some of those things, yeah, really like just because of what I thought I had to be in order to be safe and secure. And yeah, to ensure my safety. And so, yeah, I've learned to read people's emotions and energy, and it got to, yeah, to be just like an unconscious thing of like, oh well, this is needed right now in the room, so I'll go do that, or I'll smooth this over and I'll make this comfortable, or I'll break the ice for and loosen up this kind of hard edge in here or whatever. And I just kind of like sometimes naturally do that. And sometimes it was like it worked out great for me, but other times like it wouldn't work out so great for me, and it would super drain me. And I always thought like it was my responsibility to make the room safe, in certain ways, and engagements, things like that. But now I'm seeing that, yeah, it's not my responsibility, and sometimes there needs to be that friction and that tension. There needs to be that tension of the opposites, so that the third point of view can come through. But yeah, it can be super tense and awkward and anxious. Like we can feel those feelings of anxiousness. And yeah, how well can we sit with those feelings of anxiousness and allow them to be there, without having the need to fix them? Can we just allow them to be there? And can we allow others like their own anxiousness without feeling the need to fix it for them? And so, and can we also like, yeah, maybe be willing to be seen in like a light that's like a little harsh sometimes, but know that there is also the softer light as well. And there is like that contrast, and we do hold all aspects within us. And so just like kind of just making friends with some of these parts that I was a little bit more reluctant to allow, to allow them their place or their space to be in. And so, but like realizing that some of them aren't what they seemed to be, or they weren't what they seemed to appear to be. And so I've just been playing the last little while with my snarky snark, or my snarky shark. And I'm not like, I don't have that like really caustic or sarcastic side to myself. And I was really averse to sarcasm and to caustic humor, because my mom used that a lot when my sisters and I were younger. And so it was really like left a really bad taste in my mouth, and I knew like it was just kind of a way to like shadow dump in certain ways, without taking responsibility for her own feelings, sometimes. But yeah, and it's just kind of interesting to look at some of these things that, just why I've judged them as being wrong and all that, or and sometimes like some of them just they're not a part of our personality or whatever, but they can still be like different energies that take different forms and appear and pop out in different ways to play. So I'm just gonna offer that, and I'll just let go of what else I feel like I'm supposed to say about that. But I'll just share this little entry here. Embracing the snarky shark and the villain, the weirdo, the freak's flag, and the clown, the eccentric, the alien, and the stranger in a strange land. The devil, the outsider, the emperor, and the hierophant, Medusa, the monster, and the snake charmer, the mage, the muse, the fool, the child, and the trickster, the caretaker, the healer, the alchemist, the angel, the rebel, the saint, and the sinner, the enemy and the friend, the asshole, the prude, the tyrant, and the shrew, the guru, the blind guardian, the addict, the pleaser, the slave. Forgiving the villain, and being willing to know that I am not the projected villain, even if I'm cast into that role in someone else's shadow story show, I don't need to defend myself from what I am not. So there is nothing to defend. So just let go, let it go, let it go, let it go. I let go, I let go, I let go. I allow, I open to flow. And so there is this maybe story that's been coming up a few times for me, and it was pretty fun story. So it's an old Chinese parable, and it's called the Chinese Farmer Story. And Alan Watts had told a version of this story before, but the first time that I heard about it was a couple months ago on a podcast with Matt Belair, and he's been mentioning it like. It seems like the podcast that I have watched, he's mentioned it so many different times. And so finally I was like, okay, I'm going to look into that parable. And it's called Maybe. And so I looked it up and I found a little article, and I actually sent it to a friend last week as well and thought she might appreciate it. And I'm going to put the link in the description box if you're curious about this story called Maybe. And what it is to help us to let go of some of our assumptive notions or our preconceived notions or our assumptions of what something is by how it appears to be. How we can judge something as, oh, that's lucky, or that's unlucky, or that's good, or that's bad, or, what good fortune or what bad fortune, And so the Wheel of Fortune archetype has been emerging and keeps coming up as well. And the wheel is always turning, life is always changing. Center yourself in wholeness. Ride the wheel from the center within to step out of judgment and attachment, your suffering and your sin. The story never ends until you see it for exactly what it is. Letting go of assumptions, preconceived notions, judgments, attachments, and stories, preferences, or feelings of entitlement to always having my preferences and expectations, my demands met. The ego insistencies on its own one right way. Love is always, always. And so, just like kind of looking at these things, what I have certain aversions to, and what I wasn't willing to allow. So, what else can I share? There was some amazing things that I got today, and I'll probably share next time because give it some time to percolate. But I revisited the Handless Maiden story in Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And then there was another entry that came back around for me to see into today. And it was something about a girl who was afraid of shadows, how she walked into the forest and into the forest of the trees, and that a shadow touched her face with its velvety fingers, and now she has a liking for shadows, and the fear that was once is now gone. And so I thought that was like super, super amazing, and I'll type that up and I'll put that in the description. And what I'll do to say goodbye is just leave you with this little nugget that I received a couple weeks ago, and that is live the life that you want to live. Create the life that you love. Live the life that you want to live. Receive like the love that you want to receive, and choose all that love that you need for your being. Like, yes, love, live. Yes, love, live. Yes, love, live. And through that love that lives, through this living love, that lives through our own being and our own lives, and that we can invite back to life. So it is like all about like coming back to life, coming back home to ourselves, and being present and alive where we are. And also some of the things that have been coming up for me, what is most alive in me right now, and looking into that. What is the energy that's most alive in me right now? And a few more other little gems just to help me navigate like certain things that come up that may take me from my center, take me out of my center, or kind of, yeah, sometimes, yeah, have me feeling a little bit, yeah, off-centered. So blue diamond light, crystalline structure, Mother Earth's heart, and the grid amplified. Dragon ley lines all coming online, the soil activated, the soul activated, the soul activations illumined on time. The inner unification, the mother's heartbeat, the child, the trinity, the father, the teacher, the hand of God, the priest, the maiden, the midwife, the crone, pearls of wisdom. New wings emerge, golden, nurtured, seeds planted, watered with love, devotion, faith, and attention. The tension of the opposites, friction, challenges, tests, adventures, exploration, humor, visions, curiosity, the wind strengthening the trees. Surrender. Remember to relax, to enjoy the journey, and relax into the love right here. Enjoy the play and choose your love for yourself. Love always. And so, yeah, with some of those challenges and some of those tests and some of those things coming up, sometimes we feel like we're being battered by the elements and that we're being punished, or, you know, like, what did I do wrong, or, you know, all these things. But it's actually not. It's actually like a beautiful gift and an opportunity. And also something that I heard before we left on our trip to Oregon, and I can't remember like exactly what it was, and maybe I'll find something more about it to look more deeply into, but it was about trees. And it was these experiments that were done, and I don't know who they were done by, but there was a bunch of trees that were planted in some kind of corridor where there was no natural wind that like could blow. And the surprising outcome was that none of these trees could reach maturity without like that wind, without that element that to strengthen them. And so, yeah, they could not reach maturity because they didn't ever learn to root deep into the earth or to strengthen themselves because they didn't have that wind to test them and to help them like deepen their roots. And so maybe there is something there for me to see, and so I'm willing, yeah, to look more deeply into that for me and we. And so thanks for listening. I hope you're doing well, and be in love for yourself. I love you, and I thank you, and I praise you, and I bless you, and I wish you all the best for your well-being. Wish you well for your whole well, for your whole self. All right, love ya. See ya. Talk to you again later. Bye for now.